Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the Brother Ra'aya with another video, and in this video, I'll be profiling an article from RT.com titled, Christie's to Auction, White Male for Sale, NFT touted as commentary on capitalism, slavery, and white supremacy. And first off, you so-called white people aren't white. You're actually red, and you're the biblical Edomites. This whole white-black color construct narrative that you've set up was a means for you to escape your biblical identity and forward so-called white, really Edomite supremacy. But I found this article humorous because the artist that did this piece did it as a commentary on capitalism, slavery, and so-called white Edomite supremacy. But really, on the slick, he was prophesying, because this is exactly what's coming to you Edomites, as well as you other heathen nations in the kingdom of heaven. You're going to be slaves under the true children of Israel, who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And you Edomites are going to get it the worst, since you were the ones that did the most to the children of Israel. This is Revelation chapter 13, verses 9 to 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. And this is in the New Testament for those that like to say, oh, the things that were talked about in the Old Testament no longer have any meaning. Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And who led the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans into captivity, beginning with colonialism all the way up until today? You so-called white people, you biblical Edomites. And as it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. When you Edomites' rulership goes down, which is very close, because we're living in the last seconds of your rulership before the kingdom of heaven is established, all of you, beginning with your elites, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, DuPonts, Gettys, Merovingians, you name it, are going to be gathered up and have chains slapped on you so you can begin building up the kingdom of heaven, along with these other heathen nations for the first 1,000 years of the kingdom of heaven. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And how many countless so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans were killed by you Edomites, beginning with those European colonizers all the way up until today with these with Israelites getting shot down dead in the streets by these cops out here, as well as you Edomites putting Planned Parenthoods into our neighborhoods to advocate for our women to get abortions. You give us poisonous food and water to eat and drink, and you push hip-hop, rap, thug, black culture, all these destructive ideologies on us to take us away from our power and further destroy us. You Edomites have built up a tab that the only way you're going to cash it is with your red ass in slavery. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And hey, scriptures like this is what gives us patience and faith, because we know it's coming to pass. All we have to do is stand 10 toes down in this truth, doing whatever we can to stay in the good graces of our power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, so we can hope to be of that elect number and be the first fruits in the kingdom of heaven, getting first dibs on you heathen nations, beginning with you Edomites. This is Jeremiah 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, all you heathen nations, beginning with the Edomites, as pursuant to Psalms chapter 83, every one of them shall go into captivity. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. Just like you Edomites and you other heathen nations spoiled the nation of Israel, you took us out of our lands, you took our goods, our women, and our children away from us, we're going to do the exact same thing to you. All they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Let's get back to this article. This is a vision of the future, but our Edomite slaves aren't going to look like this. You're going to have a beard on your face. You're going to be wearing tattered up clothes. You're going to be beaten, bruised, and bloody, etc., etc. We're going to do double unto you as you did unto us on this side, but in righteousness through the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Iconic British auction house Christie's is set to auction off an NFT digital art piece of an Edomite man being sold as a slave, with the artist describing the piece as a commentary on slavery's role in developing capitalism and slavery. The children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, especially the so-called Negroes going into slavery, is what built up you Edomites' system that you have right now. So just like we were used as slaves to build up your kingdom, you're going to be used as slaves to build up ours. Edomite male for sale. A short video of a Edomite man standing on an auction block in New York City was created by 56-year-old artist Dred Scott and will be auctioned by Christie's and the Kristen Tierney Gallery on October 1st. In an Instagram post advertising the auction, Scott boasted that he had a prime Edomite male of excellent quality to sale. Here's the piece. And hey, like you did us, we're going to do you. We're going to put you Edomite men, women, and children, young and old, on auction blocks and show your teeth off. If you're a woman, show your breasts. Just show you up there and as a showpiece saying, oh, look, we got a nice 22-year-old Edomite male here. He's good for working in the field. How much do you want to pay for him? Hey, we're going to break up your families and scatter you to the four corners of the earth, just like you did us. I have an Edomite guy to sell. He's a prime Edomite male of excellent quality. This is a really rare opportunity to buy an Edomite male for sale. They don't come up very often, though in the kingdom of heaven, Edomite slaves are going to be plentiful. Kristen Tierney Gallery and Christie's Auction House have partnered to auction my new conceptual NFT project, White Male for Sale, on October 1st. This new project harnesses the artistic medium of the moment, the NFT, to deliver a powerful visual statement from within the context of a live auction. The NFT, which is perpetually looped at 1 minute and 10 seconds, is a video of an Edomite male standing on an auction block, will be featured within Christie's post-war to present sale in New York. The final act of selling the NFT at auction will complete the performance of the conceptual work. The Edomite Male for Sale NFT makes the medium itself an inherent and essential part of the conceptual project. I was inspired to create the project by the meaning of NFT, non-fungible token. The term fungible resonated differently for me due to its use by scholars of the history of slavery. People are inherently non-fungible, but as slavery became an integral part of developing capitalism, enslavers sought to turn people into commodities and make them fungible. And people, heathens, are inherently fungible. You're going to be our slaves in the kingdom of heaven. And as it says in 2 Esdras chapter 6, start around verse 54, you heathen nations are as nothing to the Most High, and you were created for the sakes of the Israelites, like everything else on this planet. And as we just read in Revelation 13, verses 9 to 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. All they that spoiled thee shall be a spoil, and those that made a prey of you shall become a prey. This is a really rare opportunity to buy an Edomite male for sale. They don't come up very often, the artist added, claiming to be inspired by slavery's integral part of developing capitalism and how enslavers sought to turn people into commodities and make them fungible. That's pretty much it with this article. You get the point. But hey, like I said at the beginning of the video, this artist that made this piece was prophesying on the slick, because it is prophecy for you heathen nations, chiefly you Edomites or so-called white people, to go into slavery and serve under the children of Israel, who are again the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is Isaiah chapter 60. I'm going to start at verse 10. And the sons of strangers, talking about you heathen nations, shall build up thy walls, being slaves in the kingdom of heaven, building it up for that first 1,000 years. And their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, all of the best of your goods, the best of your gold and silver, the best of your cattle, the best of your other materials like silk or garments or stuff like that, herbs, what else? Herbs, incenses, and especially your daughters. Hey, like you had your way with our daughters and made them bed wenches and concubines, we're going to do the same to yours. And that their kings may be brought. And the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven are going to be the elites. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, DuPonts, Gettys, Merovingians, you name it. As well as all the other higher ups of these other heathen nations. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. And after that first 1,000 years, when you heathen nations get to go back to your lands, you're still going to be under our subjection. And if you don't want to follow after our ways or our high holy days, we're going to send plagues and calamities on you, send famines, pestilences, go there ourselves and handle business, you name it. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted thee, those that led us into captivity and killed us with the sword, at the top of that list being you Edomites, shall come bending unto thee, and they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Under complete subjection to the children of Israel, you're going to come down, bow at our feet, and reverence us. And like I said earlier, after that first 1,000 years, these heathen nations will be allowed to go back to their lands, though they'll still be under our subjection. And if they get out of line, they're going to get judged. But after that first 1,000 years, as for you Edomites, you're all going to be gathered up and permanently culled from this planet by fire. You're going to be the only nation that's going to be completely cut off. This is Obadiah chapter 1. I'm going to read verses 15 to 18. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, those that spoiled us, made a prey of us, led us into captivity, killed us with the sword. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, spoiling the children of Israel, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, getting the forces of the Gentiles, the best of your gold and silver, your incenses, herbs, materials, cattle, and again, especially your daughters to become concubines. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, speaking of the southern kingdom, or the so-called Negroes, and the house of Joseph a flame, the northern kingdom, or the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, all 12 tribes back together in rulership in the kingdom of heaven. And the house of Esau, you so-called white people, for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken it. So again, after that first 1,000 years in the kingdom of heaven, these other heathen nations will be able to go back to their lands, though they'll be under our subjection. But as for you Edomites, you're all going to be gathered up and turned into stubble. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim were edified. Just keep strong and keep pushing this word, having the patience and the faith of the saints. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites, and then we'll be in the kingdom of heaven, ruling over our adversaries, those that led us into captivity and killed us with the sword. We're going to do the same to them. So as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.